Morning class, welcome back to your online class. It's been a long time. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. So today we'll be starting with unit 2, that is plant physiology. We have already started unit 2 plant physiology. First chapter of that was absorption by root. Today we'll be starting chapter 5, that is transpiration. I hope you all are aware with this particular term, transpiration, right? You all know what is transpiration. So as we have discussed in our previous chapter that plants, they absorb water with the help of roots, okay? And then this water is used for carrying out primarily for photosynthesis, okay, and other activities. But among the water that is being absorbed by the plant, only 2% of it is used for carrying out this process like photosynthesis or other activities, okay. But if the excess water that remains in the plant has to be removed out of the plant. So the process with the help of which the excess water from the plant is removed is referred to as your transpiration. Okay, now transpiration primarily it occurs through the stomata present in the leaves. We all know what is stomata, right? Stomata, these are the tiny pores present most majorly on the lower side of the leaves. Okay, through this stomata your transpiration occurs. Now other ways or other pores, parts of the plant through which transpiration occurs are your lenticles and cuticles too, but primarily it is through stomata which is present on the leaves. Okay, in this chapter most of the time majorly asked question is from the experiments, that very simple experiments that we will be discussing henceforth, okay, that we will be discussing today. Majorly the question is asked from this particular experiments that we will be discussing today. So the first experiment is to demonstrate that transpiration occurs in plant, okay. So for that what do you need? You need a potted plant, okay. In pot you have one potted plant, okay. So what will you do to this potted plant? You will simply, the plant that you have, you will simply cover that up with a polythene bag, okay, and on the base you will tie the polythene bag, okay, properly so that no air from outside enters the plant, okay. So you will cover the plant with the polythene bag and tie it properly on the base, okay, and you will keep this setup in a sunlight for few hours. Now after few hours what will you do? What will you see is, you will see the few droplets of water on the polythene bag, okay. Now this droplets of water indicates that your transpiration occurs in the plant, okay. So whatever the water was released through the stomata of the leaves, because of the temperature difference between the outside environment and inside environment of the polythene, so what happened, those water vapor got converted into a droplets of water, okay. So this particular experiment proves that your transpiration occurs in plants, okay, and majorly it is through leaves, through the stomata present on the leaves. Now as we know that for every experiment we have to have a control setup, right? So in control setup everything is same except the experiment material that you are studying that lacks in that particular control setup. So here since your transpiration occurs through the water loss from the leaves of a plant, so you accept this plant, you will just have a polythene bag tied on the base and then keep it on the sunlight, okay. Similarly like you had done previously. Will you see a droplet of water here? No, you will not see a droplet of water. So that proves that transpiration occurs in a plant. Okay, so that's one of the experiments to demonstrate. So second experiment also proves the same, but in second experiment we will be using cobalt chloride paper too. Okay, now this cobalt chloride paper, okay, whenever the water moisture, there is absence of water, it is blue in color. It's an indicator for the moisture present in the air. Okay, so whenever there is a lack of absence of water in the air, then it is blue in color. But as soon as this paper comes in contact with the water, if this comes in contact with the water, then this cobalt chloride paper turns pink. Okay, so this cobalt chloride paper is a indicator. Okay, we will be using this indicator too for discussing the next experiment. Okay, so this next experiment is also will also indicate the same. That means the aim of the next experiment is also to demonstrate that transpiration occurs in plants. Okay, like I told you, in this particular experiment we will be using indicator, that is cobalt chloride paper 2. Like I told you, when this paper is not in contact with the water, this paper is usually blue in color, but as soon as it comes in contact with the water, it turns pink. Okay, so cobalt chloride paper turning pink indicates that there is a moisture contained in the air. Okay, so this question is often asked, so better understand the color change that's occurring in a cobalt paper. So we have three setup that you can see. Okay, setup A, setup B and setup C. Now if you look at the setup A properly, what do you have? You have a potted plant, but can you see the pot of this particular plant is also tied with a polythene bag. Okay, now why do you think that it has been done? So that whatever the water loss is occurring, it's not through this potted plant or soil present in the potted plant, it's completely through the leaves present in the plant. So for that, in order to avoid that, you are covering the potted plant with a plastic bag. Okay, and then this whole setup you will be covering it with the bale jar, and the base of the bale jar will be also properly sealed so that no air from outside enters the bale jar. Okay, it is properly sealed. So that's setup A. Setup B, you have similar setup to that of A, but here in a slide or in a wooden plank you have a chloride paper placed. Okay, you have a chloride paper placed. And setup C is your control, because here you do not have a potted plant. Okay, whatever is under the study, except that if you are keeping all the environment same, that's a control. So here you are using just a cobalt chloride paper. Okay, and other bale jar is properly sealed, similar to that of setup A and setup B. Now you will keep all this setup in the sunlight for few hours. After few hours, what will you observe? You will observe that in setup A, like that of a previous experiment, droplet of water can be seen. Okay, because water loss is occurred through the leaves of a plant, so you can see the droplets of water. Now in case of B also, along with observing the droplets of water in a bale jar, what will you also observe is your cobalt chloride paper, which was initially blue in color, has turned pink. Now what does that indicate? Like I told you before, it indicates that there was water present in a water released through the leaves of a plant. Okay, so this both indicates that transpiration occurs in a plant. Now in setup C, where there was no plant, your cobalt chloride paper did not turn out pink because there was no moisture, water presence in the air, so it did not turn out to be pink. Okay, so this particular experiment also proves that transpiration occurs in plants. So these two experiments that we have discussed today is very important. You should be able to reason out why the pot is covered, why your bale jar has to be properly sealed, what is the use of cobalt chloride paper, what will happen to the color if it comes in contact, what is the initial color of a cobalt chloride paper, and what happens when it comes in contact with the water. So you should be able to reason out all these things. These are the questions which are often asked from this particular chapter. Okay. We have already discussed about the experiments related which proves that transpiration occurs in plant. So next we will be discussing about the different experiments which will indicate the measurement of transpiration that is occurring. That means what volume of water is being lost through the plants. Okay, there we will be discussing few experiments related to that. So for measurement of transpiration, here measurement of transpiration means what volume of water is being lost through the plants. How do we know that? For that you have two methods. That is, one is weighing method. Okay, you take a simple weighing machine. Okay, and then you take a initial reading before you expose the plant to the sunlight, and then after exposing the sunlight, the decrease or in the weight of that potted plant will indicate what volume of water is being lost. Okay, that's a weighing method. Now another one is potometer method. Potometer method, this particular method will not tell you what volume of water is being lost through the leaves, but it will tell you what amount of water is being absorbed by the plant, and that will be equivalent to water being lost through the leaves. Okay, now different scientists have designed different types of potometer which works on a different principle. Majorly we will be focusing on Gannon's potometer. Now this Gannon's potometer and this Farmer's potometer, this particular potometer works on a principle of absorption of water by the plants. Okay, whatever the water is being absorbed by that particular plant will be equivalent to the water being lost through the leaves of that particular plant. Okay, now you have other types of potometer also designed by other scientists like Darwin's potometer and Garrio's potometer. You just have to know the principle behind it. You don't have to go in detail about it. Darwin's potometer, generally it will measure the water being absorbed through the suction force. Okay, and your Garrio's potometer will, since I told you that the stomata is present more on the lower side of the leaves than that of the upper side of the leaves, so it will measure the unequal release of the water through both the side of the leaves. So you just have to go through the principle of this. We will be discussing in brief about only Gannon's potometer. Okay, so let us understand the number one method of measurement of transpiration. Number one is your weighing method. Like I told you, you will take a potted plant. Okay, and just like in your previous experiment, the pot of the plant should be properly covered with the help of a polythene bag so that no transpiration occurs through that potted pot, okay, or soil present in the pot. Whatever the transpiration is occurring, it's solely through the leaves. So you will take that, you will properly seal the pot of the plant, you will take a weighing machine, take an initial reading of a weighing machine, initial reading of that potted plant. Okay, after taking the reading, what will you do is you will expose that potted plant to the sunlight for a few hours. Again, after being exposed to the sunlight for a few hours, you will take the measurement of that potted plant again. Okay, there you will see a slight difference in the measurement or weight of that particular potted plant. Now that difference in the weight of a potted plant is only equal to the volume of water being lost through the transpiration, because as you keep the potted plant in sunlight for few hours, what will happen? Water loss will be occurring. Okay, so that water being lost is equivalent to the difference in the weight that is taken initially and after being exposed to the sunlight. So you can do a slight modification in this experiment experiment, okay, related to the measurement of transpiration by introducing a capillary tube, okay, in a bell jar or a container where you are keeping where you have placed a plant, okay. So I'll show you that particular setup. So the modification that you can do for the experiment to show the loss of water through the what volume of water is being lost through transpiration, you can see this setup A, okay. In setup A, what have you done is, in this particular jar which contains water, you have introduced a capillary tube, okay, measuring tube, okay, and you have placed a plant. You will keep this setup in a sunlight for few hours. After keeping this this setup in sunlight for few hours, what will you see is, you will see the volume of water in this particular measuring tube is decreasing, and the amount of water that has decreased in this particular tube will indicate the loss of water through the transpiration, okay. So you can do this modification for this particular method, that is weighing method, through which you get to know what volume of water is being lost, okay. It's a simple modification, just introducing a capillary tube. There it's a gradiated capillary tube, that means you will be able to know what volume of water is being lost, okay. So next we will be discussing photometer method, okay. So next, the experiment is also to prove that the water is being lost through the leaves of a plant only, okay. For that, what you will do, it's a test tube method. For that, what will you do, you will take a test tube, you will fill that test tube with the water, and you will insert a shoot of a plant, okay. You will just obliquely cut out the shoot and then you will insert it into the test tube, and on the top of this test tube, where surface of the water, you will put few drops of oil. Now why are you putting the oil there? So that the water evaporation does not occur through the surface of the water. So that in order to prevent that, you are putting the oil, okay. You have to take the measurement after. So you understood the setup, test tube, fill it with the water, insert the shoot, then you put few drops of oil into it on the surface of the water. Why are you putting the oil? So that whatever the loss of water is taking place, it's through the leaves, not through the surface of the water, okay. Now you will take the measurement of this test tube, okay. Initial reading, you will expose it into the sunlight just like your previous one, and again you will take the reading. What will you see? There is a difference in the weight of this test tube. Now whatever the difference is observed, that is the water being lost through the leaves, okay. So this is a test tube loss. You are understand measuring the volume of water being lost with the help of a test tube. You are simply using a test tube for this, okay. You should know why oil is being put on the water. Why are you putting few drops of oil into it? So that no water loss takes place through the surface of the water, okay. So that's all about this 3 experiment related to your weighing method. Next we will be discussing photometer, okay. So the setup that you see is of a Gannon's photometer. Like I told you, we will be focusing only on Gannon's photometer, okay. Now this photometer works on a principle. What is that principle? The water uptake by this particular plant here, okay. The water that is being taken up by this particular plant will be equal to the volume of water lost through the transpiration. First let us understand the setup of this Gannon's photometer. You have a beaker with a colored water, okay. Then you have this capillary tube through which the water moves, okay. And then here you have a compartment for placing the shoot of a plant, okay. And then here you have a reservoir in order to regulate the drop, water bubble that is being introduced into this capillary tube, okay. So first let us start reasoning it, okay. Like I told you, we know the principle of Gannon's photometer. whatever the water is being taken up by this particular soot will be equal to the water being lost through the transpiration. Okay, so here in this beaker you have a colored water. Why do you have a colored water? Because you will be introducing air bubble here, okay, which will be colorless and which will be indicating the amount of water being absorbed by this particular soot. Okay, so what will you do? You will slightly lift this capillary tube and then introduce the air bubble. Okay, and whenever the water is being lost through this lost through the leaves of this soot, what will happen? It will need more water, so it will be taking up more water from this particular part, okay, through the suction force. So whenever it is absorbing more water from this region, this air bubble will be moving. Okay, so this whatever this since you have here, you have a scale which will show you from what amount of water has been absorbed. Okay, and this air bubble, wherever it goes and settles down, that much amount of water has been absorbed by this particular soot. Okay, now why do you think this reservoir is present? Reservoir means you have an extra amount of water there and you have a stop cock. That means whenever according to your convenience you can release the water and then you can close the water. It works according to your convenience. So after, if you want to place this air bubble to its initial state, then what will you do? Through this reservoir you will release the water and it will again come back to its initial state. Okay, so this is all about Ganong's photometer, but limitation of this Ganong's photometer is the introduction of this air bubble is very difficult. Okay, and sometimes the absorption and loss of water also depends upon the atmospheric condition. Okay, so that those are the limitation of this Ganong's photometer. Okay, so that's all about the method experiment related to your measurement of transpiration. Okay, weighing method was very simple one. This Ganong's photometer, you should be able to reason out why air bubble is being introduced, why do you have a colored water, why not colorless water, what is the use of reservoir. Okay, and what are the limitation, what is the disadvantage of using this Ganong's photometer. Other photometer that we have discussed, like Darwin's Farmer, you just know the name and the brief principle about it. Okay, so in our next class we will be discussing about the types of transpiration. Like I told you, though majorly the transpiration occurs through the stomata present on the leaves, but there are the other parts of the transpiration occurs also through the other parts, that's lenticels, cuticles. So we will be discussing about all those in our next class. Okay.